Hi, my name is Conor Bunn and I'm an A-level PE student at Dunraven School. In this video I'll be showing you myself in a cycling situation, showing you the 5 core skills in cycling normally and in competitive environment. I will be analysing my strengths and weaknesses in terms of the 5 core skills of cycling and how to use them and their corrective practices. Descending. When descending, gear choice is very important. If you are in too low a gear, you will not have enough power to push down on the pedals. However, too high a gear, you won't be able to build up enough speed. I have frozen this shot to show myself in an aerodynamic position. My back is nearly vertical to the ground, as well as my arm too. This means that I can cut through the wind as efficiently as possible. Once you're travelling fast enough, you can lock up your legs and get into an even more aerodynamic position. In a competitive situation, it will be important to draft behind someone. When drafting on flat land, uphill and downhill, when you're behind someone you can save up to 30% of your energy, which is very important during the end of a race. As 30% is so much, it can mean the difference between winning or losing in a very important event. When descending, you always want to have your hands covering the brakes. If anything were to happen in front of you, this means you can either stop suddenly or slow down your pace. It is very rare that an attack is made going downhill. This is due to the very low element of surprise that you can give to the other riders. Core skill number 2, climbing. In this clip, I'm climbing up a fairly steep hill in Richmond Park. Climbing is a very important aspect of cycling. As you can see here, my left leg is in the downward position. The right leg is in upward position. Clipless pedals means that my feet are mechanically attached to the pedal. This gives me maximum efficiency when cycling uphill. Currently, my left leg is in the downward position, ready to be pulled up to provide power to the back wheel. It is very important when cycling uphill to keep your leg revolutions as smooth as possible. Before, the left leg was pulling up, however once a rotation has been completed it is now pushing down, while the right leg will be pulling up at the same time. This enables maximum power to be exerted through both left and right legs, while at the same time keeping a very smooth rotation. Gear choice is very important when cycling uphill. If you are in too high a gear you will not be able to pedal, however too low and you'll be spinning too much. Being out of the saddle is very important, as this means you can put down as much power as possible that you can't do when you're sitting down. Hand position is also very important. As the incline here is not very steep, my hands are on the tops of the bars, providing adequate power through my upper body. However, as you can just see there, they have moved up to the tops of the bars. This means I can get out of the saddle and I can easily change gear. The cyclist in the orange is in a very high gear. This means it is very hard for him to put power down when riding uphill. However, I have chosen a low gear, which means I can easily propel myself up the hill. Currently my hands are on the tops of the bars as the incline is not that steep. I have just changed gear, and as the incline increases I can move my hands to the top of the bars where the hoods are. I can then get out of the saddle and apply as much power down as possible. When cycling normally, very few muscles are used in the upper body. However, when climbing, muscles used in the upper body are very important, as this means you can sway the bike from side to side, making sure that as much power is going through the bike as possible, therefore propelling you up the hill. If you could imagine this in a race situation, I have just attacked and I am off the front. A road race could be typically 80 kilometers long. This means it is very important to conserve as much energy as possible if you were to last the whole 80 kilometers. If you could imagine I'm just about to attack, as you can see here. I've just got out of the saddle and I'm putting down as much power as possible to build up my speed from the other riders. Once you have attacked in a race, it is very important to stay committed. Always look where you're going and try not to look back. If you were to look back, this makes the other riders feel that you are nervous and you may not be 100% committed. This video is based at Herne Hill Velodrome in South London. This is an actual race situation on a Monday night training session. The race is 8 laps long over a 450 metre track. As you can see here, I'm on the front of the bunch. My kit is in blue and red on a black bike. I am also very tall, so I'm quite easy to spot. The race has been going on for half a lap. I've done my half lap turn on the front. In track racing, each rider normally does a half lap turn on the front. This means that each rider does an equal turn in front of the wind to save as much energy. I've just done my half lap turn and swung up to the top of the track. I'm now joining on the back of the group. Once on the back, you're in the aerodynamic slipstream of the rider in front of you. When you're drafting or you're slipstreaming from the rider in front of you, you can save up to 30% of your energy. This 30% is very vital in track racing, as if you were to attack or you need to sprint at the end, this can mean the difference between winning or losing. One lap of the race has been completed and I'm now at the back of the bunch. I'm trying to follow as close to the wheel as the rider in front of me. As you can see here, a rider just above me right now is about to slot in behind me. He has also done his turn on the front and is joining on the back of the bunch. The pace is now starting to get into a rhythm. I'm now in the second last position on the back of the bunch. There is no need to always be on the front. If you're on the front, you're going to be hitting into the wind, wasting a lot of energy. This is why each rider does an equal turn on the front to keep the pace as high as possible. In a track race, the pace throughout the whole race tends to be fairly high. Instead of a slow pace, fast pace, slow pace, fast pace sort of race, it is a constant speed the whole way. Track bikes are specially adapted. They have no brakes and no gears. Earlier, on the road and hill climbing, I was talking a lot about gears. Gears are very vital when climbing. However, as there are no gear options on track riding, there is one constant gear. No brakes means that you cannot stop all of a sudden. You have to use the gear itself or to slow down pedalling by putting resistance on the pedals to come to a gradual stop. The advantages of this is that the bike is a lot lighter. However, if anything were to happen in front of you, you cannot slow down very quickly. You have to come to a gradual stop by putting resistance on the pedals. As you can see, my hands are on the drops of the handlebars. This means I can get my upper body as low as possible. Having a low upper body means that the power you can transfer through your legs is very good. My back is vertical to the ground, keeping a very aerodynamic position. I'm now in second place on the main bunch. All the riders behind me have done their half lap turn. I'm following very close to the rider in front of me. The rider in front of me is about to swing up. I'm in second position. Once he has swung up, I dive down the black line and insert an injection of pace. This then breaks up the main field. There are 3 of us ahead of the main bunch. I am now on the front, keeping the pace high. If I were to decrease the pace, the riders behind us who have been dropped will latch back onto us, which we don't want. I've swung up and I've joined onto the back of the main group, or the 3 of us who are off the front. We are now lapping some riders who have been dropped off the main bunch. There are 3 of us who are off the front of the main bunch. Myself, who I'm in second position, a rider who is behind me and a rider who is in front of me. We have lapped some of the riders and we are now the head of the race. The rider in the orange sleeves is keeping the pace high while I'm following him really closely, making sure I'm in his aerodynamic slipstream. The rider in front of me is about to swing up. I am now leading the race. I'm on the black line. The black line is the shortest way around the track. Once I'm on the front, we catch up with 2 riders who started half a lap ahead of us. This group of 5 riders are now the lead, and now the lead is in the race. I'm now in second position, the tall rider on the black bike. In this race, I'm feeling quite strong. This is why I want to do as many turns on the front of the race as possible. I know I'm confident in my own ability that I could beat these riders. This is why I'm keeping the pace high. If I were to decrease the pace, the riders may have a chance to recover, therefore they can beat me in the sprint. The bell has just been rung, so there is 3/4 of a lap remaining. The rider in the orange sleeves has made an attack with 1 lap to go. I make sure I'm quick to respond to this attack. If I give him too big a distance, he may win the race, so I'm straight on him. With 200 meters to go, I'm in the second position. This is the perfect position, which means I only have to pass 1 person in order to win the race. With 100 metres to go, I launch my attack on the outside of the race. We're coming into the home straight now. I'm out of the saddle and putting down as much power as possible. I then finish the line in first place. I'm now going to show you a 200 metre time trial. The 200 metre time trial is what the professionals use in order to seek gridding, or it is an event on its own. The 200 metre time trial starts from the white line over here and ends at the other white line just over there. I will use the whole track once to warm up and build my speed, so by the time I get to the 200 metre line over here, I'm flat out and going my hardest. It is then I have to keep my speed up the whole way around the track until I get to the line where the timer will stop. Professionals are like Chris Hoy do this time in about 10.2 seconds on an indoor velodrome, which there is no wind, and of course as we are outside, wind is a very big issue here. The best time I've done here is 12.5 seconds, which is a very good time considering the surface and the wind would be in my head for nearly the whole 200 metres of the race. Indoors, the quickest time I've ever done is 11 seconds for a 200 metre time trial. I'm now starting my warm-up to increase my pace gradually, ready for this 200 metre time trial. I'm now at the top of the track, or the top of the banking as it is known. The banking is steeped at a 35-degree angle from the bottom of the track to the top of the track. It is approximately 8 foot taller at the top of the track than it is at the bottom near the grassy area. I'm now at the top of the track. This means that when I increase my pace ready for the 200 metre time trial, I can use the banking and gravity itself to increase my speed. This essentially gives me free speed. I'm now out of the saddle and I'm just about to pass the line. Now, I've just passed the white line and I'm now being timed. The camera has moved to the top of the banking and I'm now 100 metres from the finish line. I'm coming into the finish line now, back into the home straight. I lunge my bike at the line to stop the timer as quickly as possible, and the 200 metre time trial has been completed. Another core skill is cornering. I am here at Crystal Palace Park at the cycle track. Cornering is a very important aspect of competitive road racing. When cornering, choosing the right line is very important, also choosing the right gear. You want to choose your gear before you enter the corner, so this can propel you as you accelerate out of the corner to build your speed back up. If you're turning onto a left-hand corner, you need to keep your left leg up. This prevents any incidents occurring, such as your pedals stroking ground, which can cause a crash. Once you have exited the corner, it is important to get out of the saddle and accelerate as quickly as possible so you can build. This shows a different angle of me taking a corner. It's a left-hand corner, so my left leg is up. I've now completed the corner and again I accelerate out. This video shows a right-hand bend. I'm going into the bend fairly fast. I take the bend with my right leg up, making sure it doesn't scrape the ground. Gear selection is very important. You must be at a fast pace going into the corner, but not too fast that you overcook it, and in a right gear that you can accelerate out of the corner. This is the final core skill, sprinting to the line or finishing a race. As you can see here, I'm out of the saddle as there's only about 100 meters to go to the line. I'm giving it 100% and I've just crossed the finish line. I lunge my bike to the line. If this were in a competitive situation, there could be 4 or 5 riders abreast. It is important to throw your bike. I have been cycling for 7 years now. It is not just a hobby of mine, it has become a lifestyle. I've met so many new friends, some of who have changed my life completely. I've travelled all around the UK, from Edinburgh, Wales, Portsmouth and Manchester, amongst many others. I've spent 2 months living in Belgium during the summer of 2009, racing full-time, funded by my cycling club. I've also raced in Holland, Italy, Germany and Ireland. My future plans for 2011 are to aim for a medal at the National Track Championships in Newport, South Wales. In the long run, I hope to become a professional road cyclist and compete under the auspices of British Cycling Team. Thank you very much for watching.